wondering, do we have anyone from? Okay, let's start. Let's start from Fian. Hey, Fian, can you provide the update? What's going on with your team, please?
Hi, Kader. So in my team, we've been able to create an opportunity statement document, and also we've been able to create a project charter just to officially kickstart uh, officially get out of the concept phase, because that's what we are trying to achieve. And in the last meeting that we had, we talked about reaching out to the the guys from Capgemini. So our next meeting tomorrow, we're going to have a discussion about that, about what the outcome of reaching out to them was. And yeah, so far we've just been trying to gather as much documents as possible, to do as much research as possible into our competition, and hopefully get out of the concept phase. So that's where we are right now.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's more than I think we are progressing on the right direction. But the Steam. So what are you going to do? One of the things that I wanted to really understand is, Fian, what are you going to do as a leader, and also all the leaders in your team, to reach out to people to get more members into your team? See, we are going through the concept phase now, and I don't think right now we are in April, May, June. Most probably we will be probably in the concept phase, and then maybe we'll move into the next phase. But then in June timeframe onwards, you will have to start architecting the system and then start doing the things right for the second half of this year. So that basically means that you know, we got to proactively start thinking how to uh, expand your team. You see what I mean, Fian?
Yes. So also in the last meeting we had, there was discussion about the meeting some of my team members had with the operations team. So we had to choose somebody to serve as the communications person between the operations team and us. So we just need to understand the technologies we are going to use first. Because right now we are still like a little bit in the dark about all the technologies we're going to use in terms of maybe cloud, or maybe the technical technology stack. So we just want to understand that before we start architecting once we get into June. So we don't want to rush anything, just try to understand that, because we're not sure which of the cloud platforms we're using at the moment. So
Right. Yeah, that's good. I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is, Fian, you got to start. One of the thing as a leader important is to start seeing things in future, right?
yeah.
And predicting things and estimating things, and start working on it right now to get to what we wanted to do, right? So this is something that you should start thinking. Especially if you wanted to make your project successful and able to get even one simple page before end of this year, proof of concept, it's still a great success. And by this end of the year, all the concepts that you're going to learn in this 30 minutes of every week, right, is going to make you really, you will realize what I mean by that as times evolve. And I know that in the previous session, you all have already expressed what are all the things that you have learned. That's a good thing, but what you have learned is just scratch the surface, right? There are so many things that you can learn, and that's what we are going to do together. So start seeing things in future, Fian, and then start preparing it. I asked in our last meeting for you all to start writing some kind of posts, create some images, start writing some posts, and then tell about your project, tell about what you are learning in this project, what you wanted to try to do, and you say that this is something that we are learning and we are doing this together. And if someone is interested, feel free to reach out to me. Those kind of things. I wanted you all, especially the leaders and also everyone in your team, to start thinking as if that you are the owner of your company. Now, what are all the things that you would do as a owner of your company? Just to think about you as a owner of your home, right? What do? You make sure that you have a job. You make sure that every month there is some money coming in, and you work hard for that. And you make sure that money is in and that money is being taken care by, money is being wisely spent to your family, kids, and then some money is saved for their future. See, what do? You take a control of your home, right? And it's no different than a person who is taking control of the business, right? And you got to start thinking holistically from all perspective. What are all the things I can do to make this business successful? How, I have been given an opportunity to come together and start learning things together, but how do I take this to the next level? That is something that we need to constantly think, Fian. Okay, so just wanted to share this with you. When I started, like for example, when I started this Testoper project, that is how I thought, right? Testoper project is the business for me, right? And business meaning not money making business, but it's a business for me in the sense that I wanted to help you all. Now, if I wanted to help you all, what do I need to do? I need to bring you all together. I need to help you to form your team, make friends, right? And I got to help you to, I had to help you to give you the platform so you can learn. And I have to constantly think of bringing in help for you to make sure that you get what you need, right? I talked about in the last week, we got a grant from Brampton, but we need to get another 4,000 sponsorship from someone. Then we can spend, half of that money into this for giving you tools or giving you registrations, whatever is required for you to successfully implement your project and deliver. So, I constantly think about all these different things to bring to you, right? Likewise, you got to start thinking, what are all the things that I need to do to make myself famous? How to make my team famous and encourage my team? How do I grow my team, my business? That's how you should start thinking. And that's what is going to make you very, very successful. Not just coming and learning and going from here. Building something out of this on your own is what is going to make you very, very successful. This could be a learning. You might not become an entrepreneur by end of this year, right? But you will know everything to become an entrepreneur. Then you will start thinking in that direction, right? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? And then you will start to develop yourself towards the success. Great. So Finn, that's my two bit there. Now let's. How about your team strength? The existing team is coming together and they are meeting, and of course I understand because of all these pandemic and things like that. Work sometimes people come and go, but in general, the team dynamics. What do you believe from your end you have achieved? Have you gone through like forming, storming, norming, performing? Where are you right now?
So in a good way, the team is working really good together. I don't know if you have the chance to join the meeting one day, you would actually see the kind of synergy between us. Like we'll have like a good communication when we're like discussing issues. So I think the team dynamics is really great. Like no problems whatsoever. So.
Awesome, awesome, Fian. Yeah, definitely in May, I will allocate some time to at least join one of the each team's meeting. Right, next month I will allocate some time to definitely come in.
Yeah.
This is really good to hear. Good to hear. Happy. So let's move on to Sandra, and I wanted to start thanking Sandra for creating her video and sending it to me. Because if you all requested, I requested you all to create a minute video or a 2 minute video explaining about Testoper project and your experiences, so that we can kind of use that as a with your permission, of course, right? Use that as a testimonial in the websites, in the LinkedIn, and in the social media, as well as use that to provide it to the government if they ask us how our program is performing and so on. right? So Sandra created a short video and she gave it to her, and I must full-heartedly thank her for that. And likewise, if any of you believe that you want, if you can make a video and send it to me, I would really, really appreciate it. So having said that, I will give a floor to Sandra. Sandra, do you wanted to share your experience, learnings, or whatever, your team strength, whatever that you believe that others have to know?
Hi, Carol, everyone. Yes, weekly meeting, and we are learning about Django and Beautiful Soup because we want to create a prototype of our solution. So we are continue working about that, and it's okay. I think that we have a good dynamics as the thing, and we are okay about that.
Awesome, awesome, Sandra. And your team members, how many are there? You said your team is small, right? 3 or 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
we invited a lot of people, but as you said, people come and go, and most of them leave the team. But we are three at this moment, active members.
Yeah. But people coming and going is what? It's normal, right? That's life, right? Whether it is, especially in the companies when you run as a business, people come, join, they leave to another job. Especially even when you pay, right? People come and go, but when you don't pay, if they are volunteers, then obviously, it's going to be a challenge, right? But in spite of these challenges, how you can bring the team, form the team, and make this work is the secret sauce that you would learn in this, right? By going through this exercise. It could be like, you guys can start a company together, and there's number of ways that you can keep things together, right? You can start a company together and with some shares with each other, and then start working on an idea. Maybe today is one idea, tomorrow maybe some other idea, day after tomorrow maybe some other idea. So you got to start thinking innovative ways out of the box to see how you can form your team. I mean, forming the team is the crux of everything that you're going to do, right? It's like this. Finding a right life partner is going to make your rest of your life determined, right? So like getting a right job at the right time is going to determine your success moving forward, right? Likewise, forming a right team and being with the right people, surrounded by them, you surrounding them is going to be the critical piece of your success. Rest of the things will come automatically, right? When you're together, you will make money, you will make friendship, you will come up with an idea, you will build something, you will get customers, and you will grow, and everything will happen. But the most important thing is coming together and forming the team. And I have stressed enough in every session to you guys about this. But remember, one thing I'm very, very happy that you guys have come to a stage where you accept the fact the people come and go. That itself is a great success from my view, because I'll tell you honestly, for me, when I was trying to do entrepreneurship like 15 years ago, and it took me like years and years and years to really accept my mindset that people will come and go. Normally what I do is I trust a guy and I bring him and I give him lots of money and I pamper him and keep him. I thought that he's the one who's going to make this whole thing success, and then one fine day you realize that this guy is actually doing something else behind you and using your money, your resources, your time, and then he became successful in that and he dished you on this. These kind of things I have gone through personally. Those who have worked with me, they know, right? And I've gone through personally worse things like this. And the best thing is, like, I've also gone through where I met people, great people, like, in my, there's many, like, I can name it, which you guys don't know. Probably I wouldn't make sense for me to name it, but I can tell you that I met so many people who are with me even today, and I continue to meet so many people now. right? Like for example, Sandra, for example, Greg, Fian, right? Hetal, Pankaj, Sagal, Gautami. I mean, I continue to meet these people. You all are being with me, right? And it continues like this. You never know how we can help each other. So just keep this in your mind always, right? Forming the right team, surrounded by the right people, you surrounding the right people is critical for your success. Like Sandra was mentioning, she said that they are starting to learn Django, right? So what does it mean, right? She has a team and they are starting to learn. It's not necessarily you need to form a team with who comes with ready-made expertise, right? But when you are a team together, you can grow yourself. Skills are always, developed experience, right? So you can always develop that. Remember this. This is the secret of everything that you would do and everything that you would succeed. This would be the foundation for you all. Perfect. Now let's move on to Greg.
Okay. Hi everyone. Hi Kada. Um
Very,
I
very
don't
much.
have much.
Hi, Greg.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very much.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have much updates. So we talked about our survey that we're sending out. So we're talking about distribution of those survey. That is where we're currently at. We started distributing it, and we're still looking into our competitions to see what they do. So tomorrow we'll have a meeting to talk about these things, distributing our survey, talking about our competitions, and we'll take it from there. But for synergy, the team has a good synergy. Um, my colleague, my co-lead Saga is always stepping up, and every team members. Elizabeth does research on competition. Ash gives ideas on various topics that we have. Pankaj contributes. So the synergy is pretty good, and we know it looks like we're progressing slowly, but I know it's slowly but surely we'll surely get there.
Yeah, yeah. Slow and steady wins the race. We all have learned that, right? Nothing happens overnight, Greg. We are on the dedication of you all joining consistently every week, Friday itself is something. Trust me, right? And me doing every week Friday with you guys, spending time with you guys is also something, right? Because we together wanted to learn together and become successful together. That's what it is. Thanks a lot, Greg, for your update. Let me ask this question. To Today we are around 16, right? And leave some of the operations people who have joined here. Uh, is everyone in the team one of these three teams? Like Ashwak, I know he is in one of the three teams. What about Coretta Johnson? Have you joined any of the teams?
Yes, I'm on Sandra's team.
Sandra's team. Okay, perfect. Uh, where are you from, Coretta?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Wow. Okay. Have you guys got your vaccination?
They have them, but I haven't yet. They have them here, so we're people are getting vaccinated.
Got it. I think you don't have to tell me. I'm also like you. I'm scared and I'm still not made up my mind to go and get it. Okay, you don't have to say that. I can relate to what you're telling me. That's good. Let's go, Elizabeth and all. We are all there in the team. Anyone else who is not in the team? You can raise your hands. So no, looks like. What about Sid? Sid, which team are you in?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Sid.
Oh, so this is my first day here, so I
Oh,
do not have any background what we are doing. So
oh, okay, okay. So, but you have a Testoper account, so that means are
yeah,
you you
I
are
got invite
advanced?
for today and I joined. So I joined through Eventbrite,
Okay.
and this is my first day. So this was the first invite I ever got. So I don't
Oh,
know what we are doing. So I just tried to be mute to understand what we are doing and
So
just.
tell something about yourself to everyone here. I'll give you a minute.
Oh, about me, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a software engineer. Uh, and I'm managing team here in US as well as in India and Krakow, and I'm working for one of the telecommunication client in Chicago, and I'm handling their data. So my background is into data engineering and data warehouses and BI. So that's what I do for a living. But apart from that, I love to go out, meet new people, as well as I recently started having some interest in music and started learning guitar as my hobby. And I have a 3-year-old kid, so I'm teaching him riding bicycle now. So that's
Wow.
about me.
Awesome. Awesome. And which company did you say that you're working for?
I'm from Capgemini.
Capgemini, is it? Have you joined uh, through the Capgemini? Because I don't have your name as one of the mentor. Have you joined through Capgemini as a mentor, or you joined as an attendee of this program?
Uh, one of the person in Capgemini posted the link of Testoper, and I went to the website. I found it interesting, and at least for today, I joined as one of the participant.
All right, all right. So we have a collaboration with Capgemini, and Capgemini supports us mentoring the team here, right? Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, how many years of software development experience you said you have, Sid?
I did not say, but I have 10 plus years of experience,
Okay.
and
So,
yeah,
mm,
right now I am like IT manager for Capgemini.
awesome, awesome. Good to know you. All right. So I'll spend a minute to tell you what exactly we are trying to do here. Okay. So first of all, Testoper is a non-profit organization, and we organize a lot of programs that helps people to upskill. Right? We call it as a future skills and innovation. That's what we do. And by the way, Testoper is not run by one or two people. It's like a people-led grassroots movement. Everyone in this call, everyone, all the volunteers, it's all run by the volunteers, governed and run by the volunteers. Right? There's no full-time employees, and each of us wants to learn from each other, and we organize lots of different programs. So you can actually look at in Eventbrite, there's number of programs that we do. You can you can feel free to join whichever programs that you believe Sid is applicable for you to learn. So end of the day, long story short, it is run by the people for the people to learn future skills and innovation together. That's what the Testoper is all about. This particular program, Testoper project, is all about bringing people together and training them every Friday throughout the year to become, so that they can become an entrepreneur or an innovator or an intrapreneur within the company. That is what this program is all about.
Mhm. Okay.
And so far in last 3 months, almost 4 months, we have achieved forming 3 teams. That's a success, right? And now these 3 teams are learning, together one after another, and they're building. By end of the year, I really wanted to see them. They all become entrepreneurs, or at least have a knowledge whatever is required to become an entrepreneur, and then they can continue this journey, and next year they can actually help me running this program and so on. So that's the thought process, and the all the programs that we do are free. So Sid, one ask that I have is, uh, do you have a Testoper account? I don't think you have it, right? But you are showing as a guest. It's interesting. So what you can do is you can send your first name and last name and email address, so that we can provide you the Testoper login credentials, right? So you can log in into that. And then what you can do is you can join one of the teams, right? We have 3 teams headed by Finn, Sandra, and Greg, right? You can
Mhm.
try to understand from them what they are trying to do, and maybe you can help them. See, all the people are here. The idea is even though if you are not a software developer, the idea is come here, learn together, and then build together, right? So that's an idea. So you have 10 years of experience, you can contribute towards, helping these people. That would be, a very wise of you and kind of you as well.
Sure.
Okay, so I think our operations teams will post in the chat channel. There is a WhatsApp group as well as there is a and you can also provide your full name and so on, so we can add you into the Testoper channel. Okay,
Sure.
good. So now we are jumping into the next 30 minutes of learning time together, right? So just wanted to show you Sid. So if you this is the channel that we use, right? And this is the Testoper channels. These are all the different teams that we have. Okay. So once you are into this channel, you would be able to collaborate and help the community members and people like you, 10 years experience and all. We really wanted you to come and help us so we all can grow together. Perfect. So let's any other questions or comments from any of the team members here before we jump into next 20 minutes of learning session, learning time together.
Carter, can I add something?
Yes, go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, so for those of you asking about the sessions, I talked to Pata yesterday. We could look into the demos and everything this week, but it's going to be Docker API, Kubectl, and Kubernetes, and it's going to be all hands-on, just to let you guys know.
So when is this? When is this session organized?
We're still figuring it all out. Pata is going to give me all the details in the weekend, and we're going to review on Thursday. It's a 12-man team, and then I'll get back to you guys.
So can you also find out how many hours would it take to how many hours of the session that he is planning to provide?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll find out.
Yeah, what we can do is we can create that session dedicated for this team, right? And also we can put it in the Eventbrite. So if someone else also wants to join, they will join and
Yep.
and they can contribute towards Testoper project. So we can kind of two birds a stone, right?
Yep. Cross promote.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so keep me posted on that. Okay, because
Yes.
June and July we are a little bit we have 2 programs starting in May, and after that all the programs are starting in August, right? So we have a little bit in between gap. We should use that gap to help the Testoper teams to learn some technical stuff. That would be really good. Testoper projects teams to learn some technical stuff.
Yeah, sure. I talked to him about it.
Perfect, perfect. This is awesome. Anyone else has any other comments, questions? All right. So let's learn together. Where are we? This is our first topic. I should actually put like this, number 1 in Roman, right? This is the first one that we are learning together. We have 3 more things to go. And what all we have learned in the foundational elements is all in green, right? These are all the things that we have achieved so far together. And what we are learning is what we started looking into, and what we are going to learn today in next 20-25 minutes is understanding customer needs and market segment. So just to give you the overall picture, so we kind of understood the different definitions of product, solutions, services. What does it take to become a leader? And I'm confident that you all have created that leadership skills, and you're creating an influence within your team, and keeping the team together and making it work is nothing but you have developed the leadership skills and minimum what is required for you to get to where you are today. I'm very happy to see the results because of that. And I'm also very, very happy to see the teaming. We learned about what are all the challenges in forming the team. You face those things in practice and you learned how to overcome them. And we learned to do that together. And today you have a team. That's a great thing to do. Then you also have made some skills on making your decisions, right? What to do next. And the most of the time when I asked you this first 30 minutes, I asked you these questions. you might be thinking it's just a status update, but it's not actually a status update. It's a validation for me to really ensure that you guys are doing what you're learning, right? Practically implementing what you're learning. So that's the catch there, right? And I heard a lot of things that I hear from you makes me and gives me the confidence that what we learned together in the decision making is working. And the finance, probably you cannot see the results now, but I know for sure you will start thinking, right? When you start building the business case, you will start thinking. Then you will remember Khader, I mean, we learning together, and I teaching you what are those financial statements, what is balance sheet is, what is profit and loss is, right? And what is cash flow is. You will remember all these things, and you will understand the importance of all these things, so that you are able to create a budget for your organization, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. And that's what we learned in our last session. And you will probably not implementing this now, but when there is a right time, you will start implementing this as well. You will recollect what I said, and you will go to this presentation, go to the links, and you will read them, and you will make that happen. Remember, you don't have to know everything on your fingertips. All you need to know is where I can go and find things. That's the most important thing. There are, if I categorize the people, right, there are two types of people. One type of people are the people who know everything on the fingertips, but they know very limited things. When you ask the question, they will immediately answer you, they'll immediately tell you, they'll immediately help you, and all those kind of things. There is another type of person. He does not know, he does not have things on fingertips, but he knows what it is. He understands what the other person is talking about, and he knows where to go and look for, to do research, and then come back with the solution. This is the second kind of a person, right? And the second kind of a person, he has a breadth of knowledge, and he understands whatever is spoken to him, whatever the topic is spoken to him, whatever the technology is spoken to him, he understands. And he knows where to go and find some of the answers that he may not have immediately, but he knows where to go and look for and research and find answers. And he knows how to pivot himself from one place to working on one thing to another thing. He knows, right? And that's what I'm trying to really get you all at. You don't have to be master of everything. You can be master of something, but you got to know a big picture, which is very, very critical. If you wanted to become a future workforce and workforce of the future, that is what the definition of the workforce of the future is all about. Not only have a depth of knowledge, but to have a breadth of knowledge is one of the definition to become a future workforce. And be agile and have a ability, knowledge, and skills that you can pivot yourself to work from one thing to another thing quickly. These are all some of the definitions of you becoming a future workforce or a workforce of a future, either as an entrepreneur, intrapreneur, or an employee. It doesn't matter. So we learned about a lot of personal abilities and attributes. That's the summary of personal abilities and attributes. Then we kind of started looking at trying to get help from all people around us who can help us to make our dream true, right? Make these three dreams dream true and build something out of this. That's the skills and tools and frameworks. Then the third thing we started looking at it is making the market your primary focus. What are all the different things that we need to really know while we are in the concept phase? There are certain things that you need to really know. That's what I'm calling it as a making the market your primary focus. And we started learning about that. And first thing we learned there is analyzing the industries and competition. We understood what are all the different industries that are out there. And we understood how to analyze the competition. We understood that. Now, what we are going to learn is, next thing, we are going to focus on customers. We're going to learn about customer needs, and we are going to learn about market segments. See, we learned about industry. Industry is also within the industry, industry is also one of the market segment, right? One of the characteristics of the market segment, meaning when you wanted to go and address an healthcare industry, that means you're actually segmenting your market that you wanted to address with your product. So industry is one of the characteristics of the market segment. But in addition to that, there are so many other characteristics of the market segments. I'll give some examples so that you understand at a big picture, right? But the bottom line is you got to really understand, in addition to understanding and classifying the industries and sectors, in addition to learning how to dig deep and understand about our competition, it is equally important that you understand your customer and how you segment that customer, so that you know whatever that you're trying to build, you're actually trying to build for that particular customer who is in that particular segment. This is very, very critical. And that's what we are going to quickly learn for next few minutes until we get 7. Okay. All right. So finance, keeping base score, we said, and this is what we are going to learn together. This is little bit of theory, but I will try to make it in a way that it is Q&A between us, so it's easy. Okay, and it resonates and we learn together. So first, most important thing that when you are building it, when you are in the concept phase, the most important thing that you need to understand is who is going to buy your product and why. Asking yourself why is very, very important. So you have to ask yourself who buys our product and why as a team. If you are able to ask that question and if you are able to answer that question, that means what have you achieved is you have achieved the understanding the needs of the customer. So understanding customer needs is the topic for today. So how can I understand the customer need? How my product can solve the customer need? All these things is the question that you need to ask yourselves. It's all intertwined and interrelated. So if you are able to answer yourself who buys our product and why, that means you have actually understood the customer need. So if you have understood the customer need, then you will be building a product that will address that customer need. And you will know that that is the customer who is going to buy your product. It's all connected. So please ask yourself, it's one thing to come up with an idea. Okay, for the learning purpose, it's okay. But if you want to really become an entrepreneur, moving forward, you got to really answer this question. Very, very important. The second thing is, it's all about customer. Whatever I'm trying to tell you today, it's all about customer, not about your product. It's all about customer. Customer is your primary focus. If you understand the customer need, you know what product you need to build. You know whom to go and sell. That's the first point. The second point is you need to understand what motivates the customer to buy your product. See, customer might have a need. He might have a need saying, hey, I wanted to develop my career. That's his need. I want to get a job, right? That's his need. And let's say you have a product that's going to help him to get a job, for example, right? Then that means you have fulfilled his need, which is good. But does it mean it motivates him to buy your product? They both are not the same thing. It is closely connected, but both are not the same thing. So what is going to motivate him to buy your product is very, very critical. So he has a need. There are 20 products that are out there. All 20 product is going to solve his need. But why would he come and buy your product? Is something that you need to really, really understand. That's where they say, the products, there is a word called unique selling proposition. If you want, you should write it down. Unique selling proposition, right? how am I different than the competitors? This is what we actually looked at when we were understanding the competitors and learning about the competitors together. How am I different from the competitor? And whatever that I am different is the motivation for the customer to buy my product, or is it the motivation for the customer to buy my product? You got to know that. You got to learn that. If you are able to understand what motivates the customer to buy your product, that means you will know how to make them to buy your product and attract them to buy your product. And the last point is, what benefits customer value the most? This is also very, very important. I kind of addressed this a little bit in my second point. I should have waited to address it in the third point. I talked about product positioning, unique selling proposition, product positioning, and things like that. Let's say, for example, right, you have built a product to attract the kids in the age of 8 to 12. And a kids 8 to 12, what do they value the most? They value the most that gives them fun, right? That they can have fun with. And now within that, fun is a little bit more generic word. Within that, I don't know, let's say a video game. Within that video game, let's say some name of the video game. So if you are able to kind of understand what that 8 to 12-year-old kid values the most, that means you will be able to position the product to that particular customer segment to buy. Not necessarily it has to be a gaming product. It could be, let's say, you are building something that is a, let's say, an edible product, okay? Something that kids likes to eat, for example, right? Like a chips or something that kids eat. But what you can do is you can create the package in such a way that they start to add something, right? And then because of that they get the game or some kind of a loyalty program, whatever. It could be anything. I'm just giving an example. But the point here is, the crux to this whole thing and the key point here that you need to understand is you got to know what customers value the most. Then you should be able to position your product and sell your product. So these are the three things. Let me summarize this in a simplest way. Okay. First and foremost thing, we'll start from a word customer. Let's focus on that. You need to understand the need of a customer. Example, he wants to play games. He loves to play game. Another example, he wants to get a job. So that's the need of the customer. If you know the need of the customer, you would be able to create a product for him. But is it enough? No. You got to know what motivates that customer to buy your product, because there's 10, 20 people are there who's going to also solve the need of that customer. So you need to understand what motivates that customer to buy your product so you can attract them. Let's say for a job, right? He wants to get a job. What motivates the customer? You say, hey, I have this course. If you read this course and if you do things, then I will organize a campus interview for you. We will give you all the things that is required for you to do. Now what happens? Instead of that customer going and learning the course in one place and then trying to get an interview in another place, you are providing the interview opportunity along with the training him on the course. Could be a motivation, as an example. Could help you to attract him to buy your product. So the second key thing is understand the need of the customer. Second thing is understand what motivates the customer. And finally, understand what values the most, what customer values the most. Well, you are providing the session and you are giving them, a campus interview. All is good. But if you try to do that to a customer who wants to become a lawyer and you try to do that to become a software developer, this is not going to help. You got to understand that this person wants to become a lawyer and this person wants to become a software developer, data scientist, and so on. So you got to understand what benefits the customer value the most. If you know these three things, you can create a super product. You will know how to attract them, how to position your product, and you will know how to sell it. So customer is your primary focus around surrounding that. But with one caution, I wanted you all to remember this. If you want to be remember, continuous learning, guys, that's the one word I can tell you. Continuous learning is the only thing which is going to keep you ahead of others. You can have fun, you can have family time, you can do everything, you can work hard in your company, and all those things are good. But if you are not able to allocate 2 to 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day to continuously learn, then you will never get to a place where you can say that you can stand out of the crowd, right? And you can achieve something other than normal people, what they normally achieve. Yes, sometimes there is a luck factor in it, but leave the luck out, right? The continuous learning is what is going to make you all successful. And what does it mean? From the customer needs point of view, customer needs also will continuously evolve. It's a very volatile. 10 years ago, customer wanted to buy car. Now customer wanted to Uber. They believe, the latest generation believe buying a car and investing on the car is waste of money. They would save 50% of the money on that if they are able to rent and go through Uber. So this is what it is. I mean by volatile. Customer needs continuously evolve. You might go and validate today. If you don't keep in touch with the customer, after 6 months, you go and deliver a product and he will say, yes, that requirement I had 6 months ago, now I don't have that requirement. All the money that you have invested, time you have invested, everything is gone for nothing. So it's not about the customer needs now and then start building the product, go and release after 1 year. No. This is where you need to pivot yourself from waterfall model to an agile model, where that's more technical words, but where you need to continuously evolve. Talk to customers, build the product, validate with him. If he likes, does it solve his problem? No. Rechange it, do it, validate continuously. You got to keep this running. Very, very important. You got to be agile. You got to continuously evolve your product. You got to understand how volunteers are coming and going. We made our mind and heart strong to accept the fact that people come and go, but we need to build the team, continuously build the team, continuously have a backup plan to succeed. Like that, you need to continuously be in touch with the customers. You got to be agile in evolving your ideas. You got to be agile in evolving your requirements. You got to be agile in developing. You got to be agile in testing, deploying, adding features. You got to be agile. You got to continuously learn, continuously evolve. Very, very important, guys. So this is the very fundamental thing that I wanted you to understand when it comes to customer needs. Okay. But there's a couple of other points that I wanted to really share with you all today. I gave some examples. I wanted you to really differentiate between features and needs. You got to really understand this. A lot of people confuse between features and needs. A customer need, because we are talking about customer need. Customer need is not a feature. Customer need is an outcome. And based on that outcome, you got to build features in your product. A lot of people get confused when they are defining the features. They try to put what customer need is, but not. No, it's not. In the agile world, they call it as a user story. You might have multiple user stories. You might have a requirement, and then you got to turn them into multiple user stories, and then which will eventually turn them into a features that you're implementing in your product. But those are too technical. But at a very abstract way, you have to, as an entrepreneur, be very clear in mindset the difference between feature and needs. So I have given some example. It's self-explanatory. So why do I need a PIN number for ATM, bank ATM? Because I wanted to protect my money. So the need is I want to protect my money. The feature is I wanted to implement a PIN number feature in the ATM for a customer. And I'm old, right? As I get old, my eyesight goes down, right? Smaller letters I can't see properly. And I wanted to see properly my phone, all the letters. So I dial the right number or whatever. That is a need from the customer. But the actual feature that you would implement is you will design your buttons in the phone, soft buttons or the hard buttons big. Same thing. I need a comfort. So I design a chair with, a height adjustment, and you can lay back down and leg riser, whatever. So understand. So because I talked about in the previous slide a customer need, I wanted to give this as an example because you guys are starting to think about product concept, and you will move from concept phase to the ideation phase. A lot of different phases we will go together. But I wanted you to understand, because we are talking about customer needs, there is a difference between customer needs and features, right? Just remember this. And always remember one thing, voice of customer is very important. Listen to the customers. This is not something new I am telling you, right? We always say this, right? Listen. Before you act, listen. Analyze what that person is saying. Understand whatever that you're going to respond, how is he going to perceive? And then respond. This is something that normally we do every time. And take a minute or two, whether it is personal or professional, something comes on top of, something is hit on you. That is hard, right? Then take a minute, take a deep breath and take a step back. Think about what is hit on you and why. Understand completely, and then try to explore different options, and then understand pros and cons of all these options, and then react to that. This is very important. This we all know and we have been doing. But when it comes to the customer needs, it's called as a voice of customer. You got to always listen to the customer voice. Not only the voice, what he speaks from his mouth, right? But also his action, his gesture. It's very important. That is the only way you can understand what motivates the customer. What customer values the most. You got to develop your skills not only to interpret what he says from his mouth, because sometimes when he says from his mouth, he can speak with mind, without mind. There's a lot of people do that. But the actions, right? It's always from the mind, right? The gesture is always comes from the mind. You won't show your hand, go there without thinking. But you can scold a person without thinking as a voice. So it's equally important to listen to the voice as well as observe the action. And remember, going and meeting customer, planning and carrying out the customer visits is the king for the successful business. If you are not intimate with the customer, if you are not very close to the customer. If you do not know what he needs, customer needs, what motivates, if you do not know in a simple word, voice of customer, if you are not close enough to him, you cannot become a successful entrepreneur, innovator, entrepreneur. Customer, competitors, technology, market, other political, geographical, and all those different things. These are all the things is going to contribute towards your success as an intrapreneur and entrepreneur. And among all these different things, we have been learning one after another, one after another. Customer is the king. All right. So I think we are 2 minutes over, and I also wanted to kind of cover a little bit on something, right? Which I don't think I will be able to cover, which kind of concludes the understanding customer needs and market segment at a very high level. I will cover this in our next session. But today's takeaway for you, team, is customer, customer, customer. That's your takeaway. You got to be close with them. If you want to solve a problem of a customer who is handicapped, you got to be with him throughout your product lifecycle phases, lifecycle management phases, from the concept until you deliver the product, monitor the product, and continue to make money. You got to be married to him throughout. You got to evolve and be agile with him throughout. A feature that you would give to that customer today will become obsolete tomorrow. So the lessons learned that I wanted you guys for today to understand is you got to be on top of everything, continuous learning of the customer, continuous learning of the technology, continuous learning of the technical things like programming skills and so on, continuous learning of the competitors, continuous learning of the market, how it is evolving, continuous learning of how it is getting segmented. Continuous learning of everything is what is going to make you success. What you seed is what you reap. Remember this as a takeaway from me for today. With that, did we all learn something today? Yes, no?
Yes.
Big shout? Okay. Perfect. So I will let you all to have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Don't be scared like me to go and get a vaccination. If you can, go and get it, please. And I'm also trying to become brave to go and get the vaccination soon. That's for you, Coretta. All right. You all have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. See you tomorrow in the artificial intelligence, the last session of that particular master class. That's the 6th session, I believe. And I look forward every one of you joining our May 1st week 2 programs that we are starting. One is build app, microservices based app. Another one is a playwright test automation. I'm looking forward to see every one of you joining there and learning as well. You all take care and have a great evening. Bye for everyone.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.